And then the smoke gets
Hey, I got muscles like Superman trainer. Ay, real rare like Super Saiyan Mega. I jump, stomp on Lucifer Satan. Now I got a few rings on Jupiter skating. I meant to say Saturn, switched up the pattern, smoking on some shatter. What's good, YouTube? It's been a long time. I know it's been a while, but I first want to thank you guys for stopping by, watching my channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm coming at y'all today with a video, man, because your boy is actually packing. Packing for what? Well, situation transpired back at home, so I had to leave Prime. Now I'm going back to Prime. Yeah, so it's been about 2 months since I left Prime, and now I'm going back to Prime 2 months later. But in a nutshell, man, I'm packing a few hours before I leave. I'm going to drive again, of course. So I'm gonna probably leave about 2 o'clock in the morning so I can get down there orientation on time. But yeah, man, a little bit how that process went, I just basically notified them something was going on back home. I'll keep you informed, yah. And they quickly sent that 4,300 stub over to your boy, telling me I owe them money. So I kind of basically waited out, till things died down at home. And then I called my recruiter. Talked to the recruiter. She was just like, yeah, the sooner the better. So I was like, okay, well, since I already did miles, are they going to consider those miles when I come back? She told me she's not sure as a recruiter, yada. Best thing I can do is contact, I think she said safety. So basically, in a nutshell, she called me back. I got my CDL, of course, through Prime, so that was no problem right there. She called me back with my C class. I was still a B2 versus doing 50,000 miles. Ooh-wee, I got to do 40,000. I think I did 10 to 15,000 miles with my trainer before I left Prime, so it's kind of like I took that one across the chin. I think what I'm going to try to do when I get back, though, is still talk to the training department to see if I would still have to do those miles during the orientation. But in a nutshell, when you leave Prime and you come back to Prime, no matter how long the time has been, I mean, of course, if it's like a day or two, they're not going to consider that. But if it's been at least a month, they are going to make you go back through new hire orientation for that week. After that, you start getting your guaranteed 700. It's basically like you're a student all over again, minus the PSD phase where you're trying to get your CDL. So yeah, man, I'm packing up all that good stuff, getting together all my paperwork. They should still have the shit on file, to be quite honest with you, but I'm sure they don't. This time around, I know I'm packing at least 2 weeks worth of clothes, just in the event we can't get to a washer and dryer. Me and my trainer, the first trainer I had, we did have that situation where we couldn't get to a washer and dryer a few times, and that was pretty tough. You had to make some decisions. So this time around, I know what to expect, what to do. I'll probably still be a solo dolo, you know what I'm saying, like, because I'm supposed to be down there now, checking in or sometime tonight, but I'm going over in the morning since I live close to home. I don't really like sharing space with people unless I have to, and in this situation for orientation, you don't have to. So I'll probably end up getting my own room, or since I still have my work ID, I may try to stay on campus. I think it's 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 24 off. So tomorrow, I may try to stay on campus. Then after that, I'll check out of there. And I guess the next night I may get my own room. I'll do it like that. I prefer doing that than sharing a room with somebody, and then you got to try to beat them to get up and get in the shower before them and get ready before them, especially if they somebody who moves slow getting dressed, and they're going to run the risk of you being late for orientation. I just don't have time for that. Plus, I just know how sanitary I am. I mean, going on the truck is one thing. You wipe down and clean up behind yourself, or you just wipe down and clean up, period. I know I did that when I got on my trainer's truck. I had Lysol, I had wipes. Even if I didn't want to come off like germaphobe or freakish, basically all I did was just waited till he went in a truck stop, or I waited till he went in the building or something. And I hurry up and swiftly just wipe down, wipe the steering wheel, wipe everything down that I know I'm going to touch, or just wipe everything down in general. I wish I still had those videos too. Man, by the time I got done with them wipes, man, it looked like it was a mechanic's truck. I'm like, this is gross, bruh. I mean, it's understandable because you always moving and you always grooving, but it's important that you take the time out to wipe that truck down because at the end of the day, you probably not supposed to, but I had a little bottle of hand sanitizer because you can't always wash your hands. And for me, you know what I'm saying, you're inhaling them germs when you eating your food, and you're going to have to touch your food to eat. And you're on that truck, there ain't much you can do, so just be mindful, man. And you know, I know my trainer, he tried to act like he was a neat freak or whatever, the first one I had. And, you know, there was no shoes in the back, all that kind of stuff, which is cool. I get that. But he was for no flip flops, no none of that, due to the fact that he gave an example. You know, when you go to the beach and you kick sand up all over the back of your legs, just imagine what's getting on the back of your legs when you are walking around wearing flip flops. I felt like it ain't had nothing to do with shit, especially after I wiped the truck down and saw that. But I respected his wishes and I tried not to wear flip flops on this truck, or period. Um, but this time around, man, fuck that. I bit my tongue, I held my tongue, and, you know, kept my head down, you know what I'm saying, and did what I was asked to do. But never feel like, you know, somebody can just push you over or you're a pushover. You can't speak up, speak your mind, and say something. Things ended very bad with me and my trainer, my first trainer, because it got to a point where I just started to boil, and that's never good. You always want to talk about things. However, that did not affect me, and that did not affect my trainer. However, we just came to the conclusion after our first month that this wasn't going to work with me and him. That's also another reason why I came home. We just agreed to disagree. I just felt like he started to feel like he could just talk to me any type of way he wanted to because it was his truck. I had to do what he wanted to do, like I was his slave, in other words. He was a good dude, good trainer, all that kind of good stuff, very kind hearted, but it was just like maybe the age has something to do with it because he was a lot older than me. Like he probably could be my grandfather or he probably could be my dad. Like that's how old he was. However, and that was another reason why I respected him for so long. However, it was just like you got to nip it in the bud. And what I didn't appreciate is when I brought it to his attention, he still, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get all mushy on y'all or nothing, but when I brought it to his attention, I still felt disrespected because he laughed about it. Versus, you know, oh, I apologize if you felt that way, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. It took for me to, you know, get a little unprofessional for him to feel where I was coming from, and we had a understanding of things. And then he turned right back around like 5 minutes later and did the same shit. And I said, this is why we just got into it. You can't do that. I'm not your child. So he didn't really too much like that, and I think he felt like, you know, where I was headed with things. So there was no conversation had that I was getting off of his truck, but he kind of figured that, I kind of figured that. We both wanted it but never said it to each other. So I got off his truck. He's like, give me the keys. I'm like, cool. I'm like, peace and blessings to you. Appreciate everything. We'll be in touch. I still haven't talked to my trainer. No hard feelings. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pass him again out here. And it just is what it is, man. And I really hope, you know, he's doing well for himself and all of that. No hard feelings. I feel like I've learned a lot from him. Not probably everything that I needed to know, but he taught me at least what he could teach me. And I'll probably do another video on that. I'm not sure if I really want to get into the details of that. But, man, just hopefully my next trainer is a cool cat, man, and we can get along and all that kind of stuff. And, man, y'all pretty much know how this whole orientation shit go from my first videos. If y'all want me to, I could redo another one. From packing to days of orientation to all of that shit of the first week. But pretty much in a nutshell, day zero, you get there, check in the campus. They give you an application packet. You fill it out. You bring that shit back to class with you on Monday morning. I believe orientation starts at 7 o'clock. So you got to be outside to catch the shuttle. Me, I'm driving, so I ain't got to worry about no shuttle. Fuck that. I'm driving to orientation, parking my car. I already have a parking pass, so I'm good. If you don't have a parking pass, though, if you decide to drive, when you get there, you just buzz the little button to the parking lot. And this is for Piston, Pennsylvania. If you don't have a parking pass or a card or anything, you just basically buzz the button and security will let you in. You just let them know that you're a student, you try and park your car, they'll let you in the front door, yada, yada, yada. Day one of orientation basically consists of drug tests, collecting all your identity information, social security card, ID, anything they ask you to bring on the website. You're going to start your CBTs, computer-based training for those who don't know. And you're probably going to get a couple of speakers that is going to come in and talk to the whole class about Prime and all that other shit. Day two, more CBTs, more people coming in to talk to you and shit. You're going to do some more PowerPoint shit, watching some videos. It's all boring, but it's what you expect out of orientation. Day three, you're supposed to get your ID, but I didn't get my ID until I got cleared. So my shit didn't get cleared till like Thursday when I went the first time. And with that, be mindful in order to get cleared. They're going to tell you to call. I know it might sound like the most bullshit thing that they could say, but you sometimes got to call your recruiter because your recruiter has the answers or may know what's going on. But those guys, they don't know what's going on and they can't give you no answers. So they're going to tell you go see your recruiter or go call your recruiter. And to be quite honest, all you got to do is walk through the double door glasses, two glass double doors back in the office, and the recruiting people are on the right side. You go over there and see one of them, give them your name. They could tell you why, you're being held off or why. My bad for the interruption, y'all. Had a phone call coming through. But anyways, yeah, man, if you go through that glass double doors, the recruiting office, the recruiters in that office should be able to tell you why you being held off or what the holdup is, if your drug test, is a problem, or if they're still waiting on that, or like mine, they didn't finish verifying me because of the fact that my last employer, they couldn't get in contact with nobody there. So I gave them a different phone number and then bam, everything was good. So they'll let you know throughout the process, all of that good stuff. And then I think starting Wednesdays is when you start your simulator training. You do the simulator training, you do your pre-trip. This is for the PSD. If you TNT, you don't got to worry about all that shit. So if you coming through, PSD is prime student driver, so that means you coming in to get your CDL with them. You gotta do all that computer-based training bullshit. Not the computer-based training, but the simulator training. And go over your pre-trip and all that other shit. But if you coming in and you already got your CDL, you going straight to TNT phase. Whether it's CA, I think it's a B1 and a B2, you good. I don't think you have to do that computer-based training. Not computer-based. I keep saying computer-based training. Come on. Got to get it together. I mean the simulator training. Because I know the people that was in the first class with me, the simulator training, they didn't have to do that shit. I think you do have to do it when you come back after you finish up with your trainer, because they want to make sure you still know how to safely drive. So, because I seen some other guys in another class while I was in training, in the orientation phase, doing the simulator, and they had to like alley dock and stuff like that on the simulator, like actually backing into a dock. And don't get me wrong, the simulator, I don't want to call it a video game, but it's not realistic. But take it seriously because they are grading you on that, and they look to see what your weaknesses are based on that. So if you are PSD, you are going to do the simulator training, and I believe it's on Friday, Thursday or Friday, depending on how big your class will be. You're going to have to do the simulator training, and everybody has to pass. If you don't pass, I don't know what the fuck happens, but they going to print this thing out with your social security number on it, some other shit, and it's going to say, oh, you followed too closely, watch your following distance. Like I said, that shit is not realistic. I had a guy in my class where the car came up out of nowhere and fucked the damn truck up. Like, the car came out of nowhere. The car was nowhere in sight while he was driving. Next thing you know, boom. The car slid into the back of the trailer and ended up under the truck. And he got docked for that. And it came up as a crash. Take it seriously, man. I think personally there's some glitches in that thing, but it is what it is, man. I ain't worried about that shit due to the fact that I have my CDL, so I don't really give a fuck. Yeah, man. Computer-based trainer, simulator, you gonna finish up all that shit. I don't know what TNT people do. I'll be able to tell y'all this time around, though, because I'm going back as a TNT. I kind of don't like the fact that I gotta do 40,000 miles when I don't know, I already did like 10 to 15. I can't remember exactly how much. I want to say I did 1,200. But, man, this truck life, man, you got to be strong for this shit, bro. Like, me and my fiance, man, we done talked about me going back quite a few times. And, I mean, it's still like you get the same feeling, even if you've done it before. You get the same feeling. If you got young kids, you happily married or you're in a good relationship, it's definitely going to be tough out there on the road for you. It's definitely going to be tough. I know that shit hit me the first couple miles. We didn't even make it. We left Pennsylvania and we was going somewhere. I forgot. I think we was going to Tennessee for my first load. We hit like Lynchburg, Virginia, 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into? That's all I kept asking myself. Like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Like, I didn't feel that shit until then. It was tough, man. Going to my first truck stop, being on the truck with a stranger I didn't know. And I'm like, wait a minute, I got to go up there and sleep in this fucking bunk on this truck? So you ain't really going to get no good sleep your first couple nights, but... And when you start to do the TNT phase, you ain't going to get no sleep at all due to the fact that that fucking truck is moving. I'll get into what that's like later, though. I may make another video about that because, like I said, you know, this kind of gives people an idea of what to expect or what you're getting into before you get into it. But it's not bad. You just got to be strong, man. You got to have a strong support system and a strong family behind you to get this shit done. Just remember to go out there and secure that bag, man. That's all that matters for real, for real. I mean, that's not all that matters, but I mean, if you worry about that and, you know, you're kind of emotional about that, like, it's going to hold you back from being able to do great things for your family and yourself. If you don't have any kids or you're not married or you are married and you don't have kids or your kids are grown, this will be the perfect job for you. No question. This is something I actually wish I would have considered with my fiance way before we had kids, because I'm like, well, damn, this shit could drive sweet, but it'd be even better if you was here, you know what I mean? Like, I know a couple people that came through the training with me and they, you know, their significant other was either already in the training, past the training, waiting for them to get done, and they planned a team and all that. But to my knowledge, the highest check I've ever had, I gotta get ready to go, y'all. But the highest check I've ever had was like $800. But that's training phase. So, I don't know. You could expect more. I don't know. But for now, peace and love. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Continue watching. And I'm going to be coming at y'all with some more content, man. I see y'all later, man. Peace. Be safe.